Hey everybody, Mark and I finally made it to Trailers of the East Coast to pick up our ATC 40-foot fifth wheel, and we are so excited to get it home and go camping with our girls. We have not been inside yet, so be the first to look. Nice and cold in here.
Let's go check out the bedroom.
Got a couple.
Here's the bedroom. Set up for a closet and a washer and dryer underneath.
Bathroom.
Big shower. Nice backsplash. Plenty of overhead storage.
The refrigerator's cold.
The refrigerator's cold.
It is.
That's good.
Yep, it's cold. Yeah.
Look at the size of that.
Okay, like I said, we're at Trailers of the East Coast, and we're going to do a walkthrough with Mark, and he's got Mark Boger, and he's going to show us how to do everything, and we're going to record it so we'll remember.
All right, I'm going to stumble my way through it best I can. You do have a hydraulic landing jack. It's a two-switch jack, so you can actually run both. This is just for the front legs. You can actually run both front legs individually if you want to. So evidently we got a 12-volt power off. But anyway, that's how that works off of these two switches individually on each leg. I can see we ordered this one with a cold water spigot, and with that spigot, it's not just a low point drain. You do have to have the water pump on inside in order for it to work.
Okay.
This is your generator. Of course, you're able to start it inside, but you can also start it out here, and it does have a start switch built onto the front of the engine itself, but that's not really the reason I opened this to look at it. When I opened it, one of the circuit breaker legs was off, so you got to turn that on, otherwise you're not going to get full power out of that generator unless these are tripped on. So if you ever have a problem with your generator and it's not running things the way it's supposed to be, or it's not running things at all, and you come out here and check these breakers first. You do have the bigger 30-pound tanks, and they do have a kind of a pretty basic way of operating. It'll actually show that the right tank is on right now, and then you turn it to the left tank when you want to switch it over. And it's got like a little visible gauge in the middle right there that will change color when it's out of propane. So that's about the only way you're going to be able to distinguish, you know, what you've got going on there with the propane. You do have gas strut shocks for both of the all aluminum doors. Of course, ATC makes these doors in-house. You cannot have a lockable door on a LP tank, but you can, barring the IA codes, you can have a lockable door on a generator door, access door. You do have, of course, the fifth wheel hitch on this one up front, and then this is the Rotaflex hitch, which is really nice. Kind of what that does, that Rotaflex hitch takes a lot of that play out of it when it's on your truck. It doesn't. It actually allows it to kind of rotate around and It just takes a lot of the sloppiness out of that hitch.
So is that like a polyurethane bushing in there that's supposed to be?
That's all about right there.
Okay.
I didn't build a hitch, so I don't know about it as much about it as they do, but I have seen a video of that, and I know that's what that is. Of course, it's got a breakaway switch that will apply the brakes if you have a catastrophe and it comes loose from the truck, and you got your battery, which is right here. Then there is a junction box where all the wires feed in, so that makes it a little easier if you want to change out this cord. You have an actual junction box right here as opposed to a solid cord all the way back. But there is your little breakaway box. And you can see the wheels and all, you know, how ATC welds their trailers up. It's you know, they're all their welders are certified welders. So they do a really good job with that. That's about it up here. And then we'll put the cover back on. The generator.
All right, we're going to move to the water hookups.
Yep, the water hookup. I mean, there are instructions inside the lid here on how to winterize and sanitize your tanks, specifically your fresh tank. But this is basically, this is for that. This is for winterizing and sanitizing. So if you want to draw any kind of sanitation formula inside that fresh tank, you use this right here, and it's got a pump switch out here so you can actually pump that into that tank. So that's how that works. That also works, of course, for the winterization.
Is there actually a light?
Yep, there's actually a light. We don't have our 12 volt up and running, but that little switch, that's all it does. It just kind of lights up.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So that you know, you can see what you're doing out. Yeah.
Yeah, don't need a flashlight.
Right, exactly. So here is instructions on this little booger right here. So right now we're running completely off the tanks because you're basically boondocking right here. And if you want to run off city, then you just switch it down to city, just like it shows there on the diagram. And same thing for filling the tanks. I mean, if you're going to fill the tank, you want it on tank fill. And of course, if you're in campground, then you're back down to city. And then you use this right here for that.
Right.
So that's pretty much that. And then this is your black tank flush, which is now standard on all these trailers. And it should be. So basically, you just stick a water hose on there and turn it on, and it washes out your black tank. And if you've got well, my recommendation is get a clear receptacle dump hose, one that's got a secure, and that way it's kind of bad to talk about that kind of thing again, but so you can actually see when the water gets clear,
right,
when you're washing it out. So anyway, moving back, you do have a tankless hot water heater. This is an option on this particular trailer, 42,000 BTUs, and it does run off of LP gas. The switch right here is a little confusing, but what that does is that opens the circuit up inside so that you can actually turn the switch on inside to make the hot water heater work. So that switch has got to be on. It has to be on. Otherwise, I mean, there's not a lot to talk about. It does have a purge line right here too, so that you can purge any air that gets in the lines out of it. But that's pretty much everything as far as that goes. The rest of this stuff over here, this is the back of your furnace. That's the furnace vent. Of course, this is your cable hookup right here, and then there's your 50 amp short cord motor base plug, and then you got the valve releases for the waste tank drop right there, and then your hose is stored inside there. And this is the back of your refrigerator right there. All right, pretty much it on this side. Clint did something about, he did a special label or something for this awning. Will brother. I don't even know, I hadn't even looked at it. He said I labeled it because it was a little confusing as to which switch in there worked this awning.
Right.
Okay.
So he put a little label
on the. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So.
A little Dynamark label.
Yeah.
He said it's not really nice looking, but at least it tells us what.
So we've got two separate 36-gallon tanks.
That is correct.
So is this one for the for the toys or for the generator, and which one is which? Do you know?
That I don't know. I'd have to find out myself on that.
So
yeah, I'll have to find out. That's a good question. Because you do kind of need to know that.
All right. Is there a gauge in there?
I guess you would need to know that. There's a gauge when you've got a single tank. I know that. inside by the remote switch, so I don't know.
Okay.
I'll have to go look at that too.
We'll check it out.
Yep. So yeah, you got 2 isolated tanks, one for the generator, one for the fuel filling station.
Yeah, let's check
That's
this out.
nice. Now they've got a clip right here, and they've got a little tether right here that holds it. Otherwise, they used to just kind of throw it in there. So now they've got actually clipped it in there. So you got an upgrade.
All right, so we've got to
Yeah, it's pretty long.
fill our side-by-sides up with.
Yeah. And then there's a little on and off switch right there. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Tim.
So we've got power now, it looks like.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you weren't pulling the nozzle.
Yeah.
So,
Ain't that the truth?
okay.
All right, cool.
All right.
Yeah, I think we get some good out of that.
All right. We've got lights under the awning, so I guess we'll make our way inside.
Yeah.
What do you think, April?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so we've made it inside of our toy hauler, and Mark is going to show us a little bit about the bells and whistles in here, because there's a lot of buttons.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the Happy Jack bed, super nice. From the factory, they do put some factory stops.
Mm-hmm.
See those little blocks right there? You can take them completely out, and then the bed will come down as far as it's physically allowed to come down, but it won't come down any further than that now unless you take these stops out.
I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of my questions. I see people complaining all the time and putting ladders in and all this, and it only makes sense with the track going all the way down to the floor that you can lower the bed down. So we could actually move those stops.
You can move them down here.
Or just remove them.
Just remove them. Either way.
All right. So I think the best option would be to probably just move them down here to a lower spot.
Try it and see.
And see
how it works. Yep.
Only because I don't want the kids coming in here and lowering it down and binding the motor up, pressing down on the sofa.
Exactly.
So,
of course, all your sofas are able to fold down and make a small bed. So this one does have the, reconfigurable sofa. You can move it further up if you wanted to, or move it on this side, or whatever, because it does have the reconfigurable rail.
Because we got the rail, so we can move.
You can move the dinette over. You can do whatever you want to. The only thing you can't do is you can't put anything up there where that countertop is, but I think the countertop is the nicest feature inside the trailer, in my opinion.
I think so too.
That's the bomb there.
And get some nice chairs, and you'll be able to look out with this full window.
I love it. I love where you put it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
We did do some extra receptacles in here, if I'm not mistaken.
We did, and I think we added that one. We added added these two.
I have to look at my diagram, but we did add some.
Yeah, I think that's an extra, and possibly this one.
It was only about $1,000 to add those receptacles, but
yeah. And we added one here. We got the USB plugs for the kids there. And when they're in their bed, they can charge their iPad.
That is correct. Of course, we did extra cabinets in this trailer. You opted for extra cabinets, which that's awesome.
Right.
You got an 8-foot cabinet over here. You got a 6-foot cabinet here, and then this is another 6-foot cabinet. So we did great on the cabinets. We actually did the solid white cabinets with the white countertops and
Brandywine.
Brandywine. I couldn't remember the color. Brandywine, and then the codes are Brandywine. And when you get up into the bedroom, you got Brandywine up there. I mean, I love it. I think it's just so fun and it's so pretty and so fresh. We also did the liquid propane oven with the three burner cooktop, which that actually is standard. I keep confusing that. That's actually standard in the fifth wheel. It's not in the bumper pool. But we actually do put those in the bumper pools here on our lot too as an extra option. It's about a $1,300 option to do that. So there that is.
And we added an outlet over here too.
We did add that outlet. Yep,
so we've
that
got so we've got 2 outlets under here under the countertop, just in case coffee maker, ice machine.
Right. So we talked about the fuel gauge. Yep, there is an extra fuel gauge
So
for the second tank. And we just got to distinguish which gauge works, which tank and what have you. And then here's Clint's little
driver's side only.
Yep. So this fifth wheel that the McKinney's ordered and bought does have a roadside awning, and so it's got an extra switch here for that reason. So we wanted to distinguish that so they would know which works which. You actually put an extra thing, that's the light for the awning. Do have a 12-volt main power disconnect, so nothing's going to work in this trailer unless you've got that switch on. Moving to the right, you do have your generator, automatic start generator switch right here. Anytime it's cold, of course, you got to prime it, and then you want to just keep priming it until the light comes on, and now it's ready to start.
So that must be the fuel
that's
tank.
the generator, and then this would be the this would be, but I still don't know which tank out there. So,
Yeah, that's true, but we know
still
which.
got to figure that out. So they've got some block-offs here because they haven't, the panels predates the latest changes that they did, because now they've got these nicer wall switches for lights down here on the bottom.
Okay.
So we kind of jumped to the bottom, but anyway, that's what this is. Here's your bed lift, and of course, you know, that runs the bed. Which I think it's good having it up here, simply because that keeps the kids from.
Yes.
Can you imagine if you had a switch back there?
Oh my gosh, no, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the blocks. That's where it stops, because those blocks are in there. And that's why a lot of people say, well, what am I going to do? I got to put a ladder up there. So,
Right.
So anyhow,
One of our kids would enjoy it because she could jump off of it.
well, I was at an RV show last year, and we had one, like, on purpose we had it sitting up high like that, and this is no joke. Somebody put their toddler up there, and the little girl jumped off the bed. Yeah, so be careful with that. But anyway, water pump switch, you got to have that on, of course, to run into the water, you know, spigots, and you got to have that on. You got some exterior light switches, which are, those are the scene lights on both sides. So I don't know which one works which. We've got to get Clint back down here with his labels.
His labels.
He loves labels. But anyway, then here's the awning switch for this side, for the curb side. And then these are your line heater, fresh tank heater. This is your 3-season plumbing, so to speak. That's what those switches do. And then this one's got the leveling jacks, and they should work now. So you just hit auto level, and that brings those jacks down. So you really shouldn't have to do anything else other than that. So
there's an app, I guess. You do a Bluetooth app?
You can actually do an app. I've got it loaded for my Motorcoaches, but Equalizer does have they do have an app. I don't know if you're paired to that one or not.
Okay. Well, we'll look at that.
It's not finding it. So, yeah, you'll have to kind of look at that. I didn't hear those jacks come down, did you?
Let's turn the generator on. I want April to see what it sounds like in the bedroom, and then we'll play it on the video. So yeah, it just started up. So we'll walk up here to the bedroom, and because the generator is right below the bedroom, and we'll be quiet. And that is just a nice little background noise to sleep to.
Just a low hum.
Yeah, just a little hum.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Not bad at all. Not how I remember our old.
You do have storage underneath the bed. Lots of storage.
Lots of
there.
storage.
So if you wanted to put chairs or something like that, it would be a great place to put them.
Little stools, some kind of little chairs put by the...
Yeah.
Now you hear that generator surge right there? That's probably a compressor that cut on.
Okay.
Or an AC, probably. So you know you settled for the prep. You're gonna put your own TVs in, which I think is awesome. So it's got wall backer right there, and then of course this is just a little sniffer for the thermostat.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's what that is. Yeah, and then of course you got your plug-ins up here. So if you want to go 12 volt on the TVs, you can, or you can go for the 120 volt as well. Okay. Because you have the inverter.
Right.
So yeah, if you want to do smart TVs, you can.
And this is all ducted.
Those are just the duct diverters there.
Okay.
Okay.
Ducted AC.
Now the little light switches here, they're a little misunderstood. People don't know how to work and you just touch it with your hand. That turns the blue light on, and you touch it again, and that turns the big light on.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, I can't turn the blue light off. Well, yeah, you can. You can turn
Just
the
keep
blue light
touching.
off. You just got to keep touching it.
There we go. It's good.
I've read posts on Facebook that says, well, I hate these things. The blue light won't go off. Well, there's something wrong with it then. If
Won't go off.
that's the case. So yeah, you got receptacles on each nightstand and USB ports.
for charging.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love how the drawers feel. The doors. I just like that.
So, and the other great thing is the
Yep.
blackout shades,
Absolutely.
so you can sleep in Walmart's parking lot.
There you go. Yep. And of course, we do have the Max Air roof vents.
All right, it's remote control
It
operated.
does have a remote control. They're very quiet.
Yeah, they were very quiet.
I love them. It's the same exact fan that they put in those $250,000 motor coaches.
All right, perfect.
Same fan. Oh yeah, we're going cold there, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it took it a while for that generator to